Oh, hello, and welcome to the Sports Office.
People don't know this, Jen, but everyone should know.
Welcome to the Sports Office.
Jen is messing around with
my makeup on,
with makeup and hair and everything. Like
I can
a
brush my hair in the
before
Sports
we're
Office.
on the air. Like
I do that on TV too, though.
I know.
It's not
makes us all makes
you look terrific, Jen.
Very nervous.
Thanks. I feel terrific. Other than the fact that I was kicked in the teeth by the Tigers, kicked in the stomach by the Spartans.
Oh.
Actually, don't zoom in on me while I say this, please. Move it over.
That's pretty funny.
Kent.
That's pretty funny.
Thank you, Kent.
Oh.
I don't even know. Do I have a dog in the fight? Do I care about the Spartans? All right.
Careful.
Rich Luterman, Greg Kanner. I know I should be careful. I'm on probation with the fans of Detroit right now. The Wolverines, I'm echoing.
It was a rough weekend.
It was a rough weekend. The
weekend.
Red Wings saved us. We've got a great friend of the program here who's joining us today. His name is Tim Twentyman.
But first, you should tell people how to join
by
putting
join
the
us.
QR
Wait.
code and everything in the Zoom
What does
room.
Miller do? Miller
There it
walks
is,
really
there it
close.
is.
And he
Goes like
points
this.
to it, yeah. There you go. All right.
Oh, yeah.
I got it faster than he did.
Corner pocket.
Right there.
Right there.
The one ball corner pocket. The
Yes.
one ball is
Okay.
a solid yellow ball.
Yes.
How many women know that?
Wow.
7, maroon stripe.
Pump it up.
Okay.
Tim Twentyman. Say hello to Tim Twentyman from DetroitLions.com.
Top job.
Bet you didn't know you'd get to see me dance on this show, did you, Tim?
I like the setup there. You guys look comfy. Talking sports. I love it.
Let me get my cigar. Hang on just a minute. Canner's going to say hi to you and welcome you. And
Grab a stogie.
Tim knows the Lions. He's been covering them for years, and he was in Kansas City last night. And so while Jen gets her cigar, the opening question for me was, tough loss, not overly shocking, but in the locker room, what was the sense of the players when you were in there talking to them? Was it we let one get away? Was it just, a bad night? What was it?
Yeah, I think mostly disappointment. I think they felt like the final score was more a reflection of how they played and things that they didn't do than the Chiefs taking it to them, beating them physically, or just dominating that game. Now, you look at the final score, 30-17, it probably looks that way, but they viewed it as a lot of kind of self-made mistakes, things that they can go back to the film room, correct this week. And they obviously have a huge matchup at home on Monday Night Football with Tampa Bay, so they have to clean those things up. But I got a sense from that a team wasn't overly worried about it. If it was something where they, got beat physically, or, they were just dominated up front or something along those lines, I think they would have been a little bit more concerned. But they saw that tape and they saw a lot of self-inflicted wounds that they think they can clean up. So look, it's on to the next week. These things are going to happen. Like, you were on the road against a really good football team, against an MVP quarterback, and
desperate team, right?
Their backs were against the ropes. They were 2-3 at home, had to win. They couldn't go to 2-4, and so that's not a bad loss in my book. I think it would have been one of their more impressive wins, maybe in the last 2 years, had they gone on the road and beat that team with what was on the line for them. So, look, it's a loss. It's the second one. You chalk it up. You go back to work. You got a big game Monday night at home.
All right, this sparks a couple of questions for me, Tim, about that game. Going in, we knew that Dan Campbell's kind of message and tone for the week was, we're putting it on you again, offense. We're putting it on your shoulders. You got to score 30. Obviously, we know 2 big plays that we can point to. They typically say in the NFL, right, 3 plays. You can point to 3 plays after a game, and that will add up to a loss or a win. I would say 1 play in total is 0 takeaways. That's just a stat. That's one huge thing they did not do. Obviously, the Goff touchdown, the formation penalty that negated that touchdown, and then the Amon-Ra drop. Am I oversimplifying it by just pointing to those 3 things?
No, because I think the latter is probably the one for me. Look, you're at, I think they were up 10-6 at the time.
Yep.
It's 4th and 2. You're at Kansas City's 45-yard line. Clock is running down in the second quarter. He catches that ball. You're already in field goal range. You go down and score. No guarantee you go down and score, but to me, that was a chance to go up 2 scores on the road right before half. Instead, Amon-Ra drops that ball, which I saw on ESPN. It was the first drop he's ever had on a 4th down. And we all know here in Detroit how many times it's gone to him on 4th down. And, look, Kansas City turns that around. They go down, they score. They get the second half kickoff. They go down and score. So that play, to me, you could have gone up 2 scores right before the half. Instead, you end up early in the third quarter down 2 scores. So I just think that play flipped the whole script of that game. To me, that was the biggest play of the game.
Yeah, and it was really strange, too, because they had one offensive possession in the first quarter, one possession in the third quarter. I mean, they kind of finished almost even in plays between Kansas City and Detroit, but that was really strange. Let's just talk about the end of the game, if we can, here quickly. The Brian Branch situation. We've heard Brian, say it was childish. He shouldn't have done it. We heard Dan Campbell's comments on that being inexcusable. We don't tolerate that here. That's not how we behave. Will there be with any other repercussions, I guess, internally? We know he's going to be suspended for the game at against Tampa here at Ford Field next Monday night, and he's going to pay his game check as a fine. Will there be any other type of internal reprimanding from Dan Campbell that you would see?
I'd be a little surprised by that, especially since he is being suspended. He isn't going to be allowed in Allen Park. And obviously that's a huge matchup Monday night that he's going to be not available for.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something else, but maybe it's just minute, small. I'd be very surprised. I think that's a huge penalty to pay for Brian. And look, I think if that happens, after look, my son plays hockey. We're a big hockey family too. That was a severe cross check he got by Juju Smith-Schuster. I think maybe if he reacted in that moment and had done that, it wouldn't have been severe. So as severe, obviously, at the end of the game, the timing of it on the cameras, it just ended up being what it was, and he's going to be suspended. I think that's a big enough penalty to miss that game, the severity of it. Tampa Bay is obviously on a roll. They're playing some of the best football in the league. Baker Mayfield, I think, is an MVP candidate right now, and that game is going to have severe consequences on playoffs, seeding, everything else, and now you're going to be down one of your best defensive players. So I think the punishment is great enough. I don't see anything additional coming after that.
Good. Hey, if you want to join in, you can jump in the Zoom room. You can ask us questions. Use the QR code. You can watch us on the Fox Local app with that QR code and join through the Zoom meeting ID there that you see on the screen.
Moody, you got something?
No, I'm just listening. You know what I say to myself, because I watched the game last night, and it's disappointing. It wasn't the best Lions effort, but I say realistically, are they going to go 16-1?
No.
Before the game started yesterday, I'm thinking, are they going to go 16-1? And the answer is probably not.
Yeah.
And
I do feel like if there's any way to put a bow on a loss, the fact that they just had a couple of miscues on offense, when we know that this offense can fire on every cylinder and has put up an average of 34 points going into that game. Yesterday they just put up 17. Dan Campbell knew they would need 30 at least to win. Turns out that was the number that Kansas City hit on. But I feel as if, we did see some pretty good things from the offensive line, did we not? Even without, down to their third string left tackle, Tim, were you pretty encouraged by the way Skipper performed?
Yeah, I was. And look, Skip played 259 snaps last year. He's been in the league a while. I think the Lions felt pretty good about him there. They shifted some things and chipped and helped him out a little bit, but he handled himself fine. And hopefully Taylor Decker's back. He's gotten 2 weeks now to recover that shoulder. Basically, what was happening with that is every week he was playing, it was getting harder and harder and harder for him to, get back the strength that he was playing at the week prior. And so now he's got 2 weeks off. He's going to have a week afterward. I think it looks pretty good that he's back playing Monday. That's obviously a big boost. And look, to your point off the top about 16-1, and you probably weren't gonna win them all the rest of the way. I said this at the beginning of the season, and I'm curious you guys' opinion on this too. Is how I describe it to people who ask me, how are the Lions going to do this year? And my response was, I think they're a better football team than last year, but they're going to lose more games, if that makes sense, just with the schedule and everything else. It's not disappointing. Like, that's a really good football team on the road. And we talked about it earlier, backs against the ropes. They had to win that. I think this is the Lions football team just because of the schedule and some of the road games they have. This is going to be a football team that maybe loses more than 2 games we saw last year. But to me, they're a better football team defensively, experience-wise, everything else. Jen, you talked about the offense. I think the disappointing part about last night was just you moved the football, and you just weren't able to finish those. Yes. You weren't able to finish those drives with touchdowns, and that was the difference in the game. The Kansas City had 4 that they finished in touchdowns. You had 2. It was a 13-point game. That's the difference. And to your point, Jen, I think you feel pretty good about the offense, especially at home. They'll clean some of this stuff. I think the 34.8 that they came in averaging is more the offense than the 17 we saw last night. So I'm not worried about it. And so, look, you're going to lose games on the road against good football teams. That's the league. And so I think if there's any worry out there amongst the Detroit Lions fans, I don't think it's as severe as it should be coming out of that game.
I agree with you 100% on that, Tim. One final quick question here. We've seen a lot of Kirby Joseph kind of dealing with that knee injury in and out last night a little bit. Oddly, I mean, he looked like he could barely walk at one point on the sideline, and then he went into the little blue tent, and he got some magic something or another, and he came out and he was good to go. Do we have any concern, especially with Brian Branch sitting out a game suspension next Monday night, about his availability and quite frankly, his sustainability against the Bucs?
Yeah, it's kind of like we talked about with Taylor Decker with that shoulder when talking about Kirby's knee. It's one of those deals that it just needs rest. And unfortunately, they just haven't been able to get him, the rest that it needs to really get back to playing, his brand of football. The good thing is you've got Tampa. You get an extra day this week because you play on Monday night. I'd be a little bit surprised if he didn't play Monday, just knowing that then he gets 2 weeks with the bye to kind of get the rest that he needs, get that thing back healthy a little bit more. I think if they don't have Brian Branch, I'd be really surprised if Kirby doesn't try to give it a go again like he did Sunday night. Maybe he's limited a little bit. Maybe it's a game time decision, but just knowing Kirby the way I do, I think he'll be out there, especially if Brian's not there, just knowing then that he's got a chance to rest and kind of maybe get that thing a little bit more healthy heading into the second half of the season.
Yep. Dude is a warrior with a capital DAWG. Right? That is Kirby Joseph. Thank you so much for your time, Tim. We appreciate you. And you can read Tim Twentyman on DetroitLions.com and follow him on Twitter and other social media platforms. Appreciate your time, Tim.
Great job, Tim. Great
Enjoy
job.
Anytime. Yeah, I'll be happy to be on anytime, guys.
Okay, good.
Thanks,
we'll have
buddy.
you again. And enjoy the rest of your Monday evening. Enjoy watching that Bears-Commanders game.
Yeah, doubleheader tonight. Love it.
Yeah. Okay, good. Love football. All right. Talk soon. All right, we've got a little break. We've got your phone calls, your Zoom calls, I should say.
We're going to talk some Tigers.
We're going to talk some Tigers coming up after the break. Scott Harris spoke today, some pretty big stuff. We'll have it for you when we come back on the Sports Office. Stick with us. Oh, welcome back to the Sports Office. Can they play us in? Where's Z?
Z's not here for...
I only get music.
Mana,
I want to show you guys. This is the pumpkin. This is the pumpkin I drank out of at Comerica Park with my daughter, Sydney.
Yeah. Whoa, man.
At the game on Wednesday when we were so happy. Life was so good.
Whoa.
Life
That's
was so good.
Jack-o'-lantern style right there,
It was rum
man.
and it was bourbon.
Yes.
And that's my friend Katie Marinelli in the back. She's adorable.
Woo!
Okay. There we go. Sorry, we were just zooming in.
All
Well,
right.
this reminded me of the pumpkin, so I had to show the pumpkin.
Safety
All right,
first.
we've got to go. Let's go to Fabian. We've got some people in the Zoom room. We want Fabian.
Hey,
Hi, Fabian. Where are
happy
you?
Monday.
Where are you going today?
I just left Buc-ee's right now, so I'm on my way in. It's all good.
Oh,
Happy
good.
Monday.
It was a rough weekend, but you're still smiling. I love it.
Woody
It
Woodruff?
threw it off.
Okay.
Oh,
Got to
I
keep
love
that
that.
good attitude.
But you're a Wings fan, right? Can't but help but love those Wings.
Yes, I appreciate the win that we got from them.
Then bear right. George's State Route 401 North.
Is that your Waze? Is that your GPS? Google telling you where to go?
Uh-oh.
Exactly. I told him I had to come to work real quick, so I got to check in from 7 to 7:30.
Okay.
So
We love you, Fabian.
But I'm just sitting back.
You know what we're going to
I
do one of
love
these
you all.
days?
It's all good.
We're going to get you clearance. I mean, you'll have to go through a serious background check, but we're going to get you in here on the couch.
Woo!
Hey,
We're gonna get you.
I'm waiting on it. I'll be there.
Okay.
I'm right there in the middle between.
All right,
Rich
we're
and
going to
the crew.
find out. Send me an
I
email.
appreciate you all.
Jennifer.hammond@fox.com, okay?
All right.
It's on the website.
Thank you, Fabian.
Thanks a lot.
Great job.
Thanks.
Great
See y'all.
job.
Have a good
All right.
day.
All right. She'll only just have to bring me some bourbon and cigars. Okay.
What we got next?
Oh, we've got
Uh-oh.
Ryan Armani and Woody Woodruff. Where are they? Okay. Yep. Was Woody in first? Let's get Woody up there. I wish we could do a double decker. We got to learn how to do two people at once.
Double up.
Woody!
Double up. There he is.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
Woody.
How you doing, everybody?
How are you?
How you guys doing? I'm doing great. I'm on the streets of Pontiac right now.
What are you doing?
Be careful.
Oh, you know, just tightening things up in the neighborhoods.
Oh, good. I love that. Are there a lot of Halloween decorations in front of your house yet?
You know what? No, not really. But they're starting to gather. I will say that. I mean, I'm kind of a late guy with Halloween decorations. I used to put them all out right on Halloween, so it was a big deal, a big reveal. But I don't do that kind of work anymore.
Okay, yeah.
Woody did some good work last night on the Sportsworks show, breaking
Hey,
down
look,
that
man,
Lions game.
you know,
I
just-
was watching you when I was sitting in the radio studio at 97.1. I was watching you on the post-game show. You did a great job.
I just didn't want to get fined.
Nice.
So you didn't swear is what you're saying?
Watching
No, I
AJ
did not.
today.
But you know, what are we talking about tonight? More of the Tigers and
Well,
Scott Harris and AJ Hinch? Or?
Well, we actually started with 20-man and the Lions in a little bit. I don't know if you had, yeah, of course you've heard. Brian Branch suspended for the game next Monday against the
Yeah.
Bucks. So we talked a little about that with Tim 20-man. And now we're just talking Tigers. AJ Hinch staying in town. You like that move?
You
Lock
know what?
that man up?
I think I do. But the one thing I hope that he does is do a little maybe self-retrospection or whatever you want to call it. Because I think this year he might have been a victim of the structure that he likes to employ, especially with the pitching staff. You know, maybe he needs to think outside the box a little more on, you know, seventh inning guy, eighth inning guy, ninth
about-
inning guy.
I don't know. I
Inside
think
the box.
I think he's the reason they get as far as
Yeah,
they get. You look at
I
that
do
roster
agree.
and you look at top to bottom. Besides Scooble, how he gets them to Game 5 of the ALDS 2 years in a row is an amazing feat, and he deserves every cent that they're paying him.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay. I have no doubt that he deserves every cent. I agree with that. But the idea that maybe the blame goes to Scott Harris to give him more to work with, because maybe if he had more to work with, he would be able to stretch his wings a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, riddle me this, Woody, and this is just a thought that came into my mind over the last couple of days. And I know we've got to take a break and we've got other Zoom callers waiting, but this is something that I was wondering if perhaps when they made that crazy dash to the playoffs last year, remember in August when they had a
Oh, yes.
0.02% chance to get there, and they got in, and they got all the way to Game 5 of the ALDS, they perhaps were way ahead of schedule then. But suddenly that became the floor, and that the expectations were raised this year, and maybe they overachieved a little bit in the first half, and perhaps once again, the expectation was higher than what they really have. I'm wondering if I would like to on a night in a bar with a bourbon ask Scott Harris and AJ Hinch if they were thinking on a 2027 pennant time frame, not 24, not 25, but till those other McGonagalls and some of the other guys get up here. All right, I got to take a break.
I think
Tanner's
that's
giving me that face.
exactly what they're waiting for is 27 when they can then spend money for the free agents that they may need to fill out the rest of the lineup. But
There you go.
for me, if you're going to say you exceed expectations at a certain point, why wouldn't you add to that to continue to exceed expectations? Why would you want to just drop back down to where water finds its level? Why not make a new floor, like you said, and keep building on that platform? I mean, you know,
they're
finish
doing
the
that.
construction of the house. Don't just leave the floor.
Tremendous. Love that comment, Woody. Mic drop.
Jen
Hey,
needs
look,
to take a
I
break.
got-
Woody.
yeah.
I gotta go.
I have to take. All
I
right,
gotta
thanks,
go.
Woody.
Woody.
Thanks for
Remember,
calling. Thanks for
Go
calling.
Canes.
Go Canes. All right, can we take one quick little Armani before we go to the break? Okay, quick,
yeah,
Armani.
like Armani's ever been
Armani, what are
quick.
you doing? Are you
Oh,
in Woody
yeah,
and
look at
Pontiac?
that. Whoa.
Be brief, Armani. Your producer's telling you.
Uh-oh, he's frozen.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we got.
A frozen Armani. I had a frozen Armani in Key
We're
West
going to
one
put you
time.
on hold. We're going to put you on hold. At least he's sober. Last time I saw him on this show, he wasn't.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break. Thank you, Sandra. Roll the break. We'll be back in 2. Welcome back to the Sports Office on this Monday night. Blue Monday, blue day. Can't you see things my way? Who sings that? Wasn't that a song?
Yeah, that's Foreigner.
Foreigner, there you go. Okay, we're going to talk to Ryan Armani again, aren't we?
I don't
Are
know,
we not?
Does his phone work?
Armani.
Armani.
Okay,
Come on.
what's going on?
Pay your internet bill.
And unmute. Tell him to unmute himself.
Unmute.
There you go.
All right, what's going on? Where are you? Are you on a walk? Where are you? What are you doing?
Talk to us, Armani.
Yeah, I'm just.
2 Utes. What's a Ute?
Man. I
Okay,
don't.
we don't have time for this. Lisa, turn on your camera. We'll get you. Lisa, turn on your camera. Does Lisa have her camera on?
Lisa's still on.
Oh.
We have P-Dog.
All right, bring him on. P-Dog,
Oh, yeah.
what's
Do
up?
that.
Yay.
How you feeling after that weekend? Do you have your mic on?
Yeah, you hear me now?
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
you.
Very good.
How you feeling after that weekend? We got about 25 seconds.
Well, I can't stand the refs over there, but they supposed to come and play their hearts out like they supposed to. I think they get too relaxed.
Well, 0 penalties is quite a
Rare.
unicorn.
Yes.
That is not something we
that
see too
ain't-
often.
I don't think that ever happened.
Yeah, well, it happened, I think, in one of the first games of the year last season in 2024, but it's probably once every 350 NFL games that you get 0 penalties like that. It's pretty crazy.
They'll bounce back next.
Yeah, don't you think the Lions will bounce back, right? They haven't lost 2 in a row since October 22.
But they better. They
Okay.
should.
I'm going to put a
All right.
guarantee up
No
here.
choice.
Lions will
Technically,
beat
don't
the
have no
Bucks.
choice.
It's
All
a
right.
hammer guarantee.
We're out of
It's a hammer
time.
lock. We got to
Thanks
go.
for joining us.
See you next tomorrow.
Woo!
All right. Y'all need to make that show.